Hello, BookTube. This is Alan, the Lonely Bookshelf. I'm here with a book review, and this book review is going to be Colson Whitehead's Harlem Shuffle. This book has been reviewed 783 times on Goodreads. One person on Goodreads said it's a classic. That was it. That's a review. I received this book from NetGalley and the publisher. NetGalley will send emails to my account, other people's accounts, saying, "Hey, we got this book coming out. Would you like to request it?" And I go, "Sure." I never read Colson Whitehead's other two books, is The Underground Railroad and Nickel Boys. I never read them. So this is my first time reading Colson Whitehead. So in Harlem Shuffle, it takes place in 1961. The main character is a gentleman by the name of Ray Carney. Ray Carney is married, has 2 children, and is owner of a used bookstore. He meets up with a old pal of his named Pepper, and together, with a guy by the name of Pepper. In the book, Harlem Shuffle, you see page after page after page of the background of Pepper. And then there's a hotel called the Hotel Teresa in Harlem, New York. And in the book, and the Hotel Teresa has famous African-American entertainers of the time, like Duke Ellington, Cab Calloway, Lena Horne, and others. And they have a safe deposit box there at the hotel safe, where the people can keep their jewels and furs and other valuables. So this novel has been touted as a crime novel. So a crime does take place. The Hotel Teresa is robbed, their safe deposit box cleaned out. And a detective, then a guy comes into the used furniture place and confronts Ray Carney. And while he's there, Pepper also shows up, and they end up killing the guy. And Ray Carney rolls the guy up in a rug that he sells and deposits the body at Central Park. And there's a couple of detectives that show up. But nothing is ever done about it. And then about halfway through the book, the scene shifts 3 years to 1964, where a riot takes place in New York because of a white police officer shot a 15-year-old boy in Harlem because he thought the 15-year-old boy had a gun in his hand. And apparently, I think it was a stick or something like that. And a toy gun or something. I'm not sure. So it goes from a crime novel to a historical fiction, about halfway. But the reader never knows what happened to all the stolen merchandise at the Hotel Teresa. They never know if the dead man's body was ever discovered at Central Park. They don't know if detectives were after Ray Carney or Pepper. And no idea. Because Colson Whitehead just shifts the genre and doesn't even talk about it. Doesn't say a word. So you're left with this historical fiction with this riot that takes place. And that riot goes on for pages and pages and pages until the end of the book. So you have no idea where did this come from? And so in my review on the Barnes & Noble customer review page, they asked for a title. And so my title was A Story in Search of Itself. Because the story just wanders all over the place. You pick up pieces here and there of the story. it's not, what's the word for it? It's not fluid throughout. He doesn't stick with the crime, he flips over. There's microscopic definitions of this club that Ray Carney joins. Descriptions of other things. And there's also, I'm going to use the word, racist. Because Colson Whitehead says of the Caucasian race, he uses the word cracker, he uses the word peckerwood, he uses whitey, and he uses white people constantly throughout the book. Yes, African Americans can be racist. Period. I mean, you're going after white authors because you're saying that they're racist, but you never attack an African American because he's also racist. I'll give you an example. I caught a bus. I got onto a bus downtown. The bus was pretty crowded. It was morning, rush hour. I sat next to this African American. I'm going to just say that. I would say I sat next to this man. He was in the window seat. I sat next to him. I was on the aisle seat. The bus started up, and the man just pointed over to the seat across the aisle, which was empty. He wanted me to go over there and sit down, to stay away from him. I was cleaned, I bathed, and everything else. Put a cologne on. But he wanted me to move over. The bus continued. It's made a stop. The man got up from his seat without saying excuse me or anything and moved over to that seat that he pointed at. Racist or not, the attitude between that man and me, it's his fault. He acted that way. Colson Whitehead, if somebody else wrote this book, a white author wrote this book, the manuscript would not see the light of day because of the racist overtones in this book. And no one, besides myself, reviewed it like that. Thank you very much. Have a good day.